Why are more people regretting buying their Rolex than ever before? Has the luxury world completely lost its mind? Here's something wild. For decades, buying a Rolex was considered the safest bet in luxury, the smartest investment, the ultimate flex that actually held value. Then 2026 arrived, and suddenly, more Rolex owners are questioning their purchase than at any point in history. Not because the watches stopped working, not because Rolex quality declined, but because of 8 brutal reasons that nobody talks about until after you've already dropped 10 grand. And look, this isn't some hate video. I'm not here to trash Rolex, but what I am going to do is expose what changed in the luxury watch game and what it actually means if you're sitting there right now, contemplating whether to pull the trigger on that Submariner or date just. Because here's the thing. The people regretting their Rolex purchases, they're not broke, they're not jealous, they're the exact demographic Rolex wants as customers. Let's dive in. Number 1. The service center nightmare that feels like watch purgatory. So you bought the watch. Congratulations, you made it through the waiting list, the authorized dealer games, the whole circus. Now let me tell you about the part of Rolex ownership nobody mentions until you're already committed and there's no turning back. Your Submariner needs service. Rolex recommends maintenance every 5 to 7 years, right? Standard stuff. You contact your local authorized service center feeling pretty good about yourself. You own a Rolex. You're part of the club now. What they tell you, we'll have it ready in 6 to 12 weeks. Except here's what actually happens. You wait, and wait, and wait. 3 months pass. 4 months. Still no watch. That $10,000 piece of precision engineering? Gone. And you're checking your wrist 40 times a day like a phantom limb. But it gets worse. You don't get to choose your watchmaker. Think about that for a second. You're trusting someone with a timepiece worth more than most people's cars. And Rolex operates this centralized service system where your watch goes to whoever they assign. You can't request the master watchmaker who's been doing this for 30 years. You can't even ask questions. You get whoever's available in the queue, and then, oh, this is my favorite part. When the service cost quote arrives, you're looking at $800 to $1,200 for a service. Not a new watch, just maintenance. That's more than most people's monthly rent. Number 2, the resale market collapsed and nobody saw it coming. Remember when everyone said Rolex holds its value? Yeah, about that. In 2021, you could flip certain Rolex models for more than retail. Daytonas were selling for double. Submariners were instant profit. The entire watch community was treating Rolex like Bitcoin with hands. Fast forward to 2026, and the secondary market is absolutely brutal. That Submariner you paid $12,000 for at an authorized dealer? You can find 10 of them on Chrono 24 right now for $9,500. The GMT Master you thought was an investment? Down 25% from peak. Here's what happened. During the pandemic, everyone with stimulus money and nothing to do decided they were watch collectors. Demand went insane. Authorized dealers couldn't keep anything in stock. The gray market became the Wild West. But then reality kicked in. People needed cash. The market got flooded. And now, you're competing with thousands of other sellers who also believed the Rolex never loses value myth. Unless you bought in the 1980s or own something genuinely rare, you're not making money. You're taking a loss. Number 3, the authorized dealer experience that makes you feel like you're begging to spend your own money. Picture this. You walk into an authorized Rolex dealer, cash in hand, ready to buy, and they look at you like you just asked to borrow their kidney. Do you have a purchase history with us? What's your relationship with the brand? We don't have any inventory right now, but we can put you on a list. Excuse me? I'm trying to give you $12,000, and you're interviewing me like I'm applying for a mortgage. Here's the game they play. To get the watch you actually want, let's say a Submariner or a Daytona, you need to build a relationship, which means buying watches you don't want first. Want to know what that looks like? You buy an Oyster Perpetual, then maybe a Date Just. Drop $20,000 on watches you'll never wear, just to prove you're serious. And then maybe they'll call you when the watch you wanted from day one finally arrives. It's like being forced to eat your vegetables before dessert, except the vegetables cost 5 figures and the dessert might never come. Number 4, Rolex became the victim of its own success. There's this weird thing that happens when you finally get your Rolex. You start noticing them everywhere. Your coworker has one. The guy at Starbucks has one. Your dentist has one. Even the 22-year-old crypto bro at the airport has one. Probably fake, but still. What was supposed to be exclusive and special suddenly feels like the luxury version of owning an iPhone. Sure, it's nice. Sure, it works great. But where's the uniqueness? This is especially painful for people who bought Rolex specifically for status. Because here's the brutal truth. When everyone at a certain income level owns the same watch, it stops being a status symbol. It becomes a uniform. The watch community has a term for this, Rolex fatigue. And honestly, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Number 5, Rolex stopped innovating, and they're charging more for it. Let's be real for a second. What has Rolex actually improved in the last decade? They changed the bracelet clasp. They adjusted the bezel font. They maybe tweaked the movement by a few microns. Meanwhile, other brands are pushing boundaries. Grand Seiko is delivering insane finishing at half the price. Omega went to the moon and the ocean floor. Even micro brands are experimenting with materials and complications Rolex won't touch. But Rolex is selling you the same watch your grandfather bought, just with a 40% price increase. Don't get me wrong, there's something to be said for consistency. But when you're paying premium prices, you expect some evolution. Instead, you're funding their marketing budget while they change the dial color and call it innovation. Number 6, the super fakes are getting scary good. And this one keeps watch collectors up at night. Chinese manufacturers have gotten so sophisticated that even experienced dealers are getting fooled. We're not talking about $50 Canal Street knockoffs anymore. We're talking about $500 to $800 super clones with the same movements, same materials, same weight. Some of these fakes are so convincing that the only way to tell is to open the case back and examine the movement with a microscope. So now, when you wear your real Rolex, there's always this nagging question in the back of people's minds. Is that real? You can't prove it's authentic just by wearing it. And that doubt? That completely destroys the entire point of buying luxury. Number 7, the watch community judges you for it. Here's something bizarre that happens. The deeper you get into watches, the less respected Rolex becomes. Serious collectors call them entry-level luxury. Watch snobs on forums will literally roast you for posting your Submariner. They'll say you don't know watches, or you're just following the hype. It's like buying a luxury car and having car enthusiasts tell you it's basically a Toyota. The irony? These same people would have praised Rolex 10 years ago. But now, there's this weird elitism where owning a Rolex means you're not a real watch enthusiast. Which begs the question, why are you dropping 5 figures on something that'll get you gatekept by the community you're trying to join? And number 8, the big one. Rolex sold you a lifestyle fantasy that doesn't exist. When you buy a Rolex, you're not just buying a watch. You're buying into this image. Yachts, private jets, success, confidence, respect. But here's what actually happens. You wear it to work. Nobody notices. You wear it to dinner. Nobody cares. You post it on Instagram, and you get 40 likes from bots. The watch didn't change your life. It didn't make you more successful, more confident, or more respected. It just made you $10,000 poorer with a very nice tool strapped to your wrist that does the exact same thing your phone does. The harsh reality? Rolex mastered marketing. They convinced millions of people that owning their watch means you've made it. But making it has nothing to do with what's on your wrist. So, there you have it. 8 reasons why more people regret buying their Rolex than ever before. Look, if you still want to buy one, go for it. Rolex makes incredible watches, but go in with your eyes open. Know what you're actually getting, not what the marketing tells you you're getting. And if you already own one and you're feeling some regrets, you're not alone. Drop a comment below and let me know which of these 8 reasons hit closest to home. If this video saved you from making an expensive mistake or made you feel better about one you already made, smash that subscribe button, because we're breaking down the truth behind luxury that nobody else will talk about. I'll see you in the next one.